It's no secret that Enlisted is a pretty weird and different game from most games out there on the market, like Call of Duty or Battlefield. I think a lot of players come to Enlisted harboring a lot of the expectations and some of the habits that get them into trouble in Enlisted because of their experience in those other first-person shooters and games. So today, guys, I'm going to be going over the biggest 5 mistakes that I see new players making and how to do better in Enlisted and why it's important to do so in the game. If this video helps you out, consider liking and subscribing because we'll be doing tons of these videos in the future, and there's always more tips, tricks, guides, and gameplay coming from me for Enlisted. Now let's jump into the action. The number one biggest mistake that I see new players making is they play too passively. Enlisted is not a game like Hell Let Loose or Battlefield or any of those kind of games like that where you're not rewarded as much for playing aggressively. In Enlisted, aggression is the key to winning. You always want to be on the offensive in this game. And the reason for it is kind of deceptive, especially if you're coming from those games like Hell Let Loose or Squad or Battlefield. In those games, when you die, you're sent back to a respawn screen, or maybe you have to wait for a teammate to revive you. In Enlisted, you have a squad of 5 or more soldiers who you can swap to when your soldier dies. What this means is that if you can protect those extra squad members, then you can play ultra aggressively with your single guy and be able to take out multiple enemies. And then if you do end up getting killed, you can just simply swap to the next guy in line and continue the fight, now armed with more knowledge about where your enemies are at. I know it feels weird to kind of sacrifice one of your soldiers to run forward and get some information about where the enemies are at, but that is a very real and important strategy for Enlisted. Always try to be as aggressive as possible. Never leave the enemy the initiative in a battle. Just like in real life, you want to be on the initiative. You want to have the initiative of combat, because that way you can dictate where and when and how you fight your enemy, and they have to adapt to you rather than the other way around. You always want to be fighting on your terms with the most information possible. If you do that and you're able to master playing aggressively, protecting your soldiers, and always having the initiative whenever you take fights with enemy players, you will find that you will have so much more success when you're playing games in Enlisted. Now, the next big mistake that I see so many new players making is not understanding the importance of rally points. If you didn't know, rally points are built by the engineer class, and they allow your team to spawn closer to an objective where the rally point is placed. This is so important for maintaining an objective and holding an objective, because if the other team has rally points and you don't, they're going to be spawning closer to the objective more often than you are, which is going to help them win the game of attrition. Even if you're trading favorably against them and killing more of them than they're killing of you, because of the fact that their entire team is able to spawn closer, they're going to eventually overwhelm your defenses. So it's incredibly important that you're always building rally points. So many new players think that, oh, my team already has 3 rally points, my team already has an APC and 2 rally points, and so they end up just ignoring the rally points and not building their own. This is a really big mistake. As a rule of thumb, you should just always try to have a rally point down. They take very little time to build, and if you're even using an engineer squad, they take less than a couple seconds, and you're also generating points for yourself. It's just a win-win in basically every single situation. If your team has a lot of rally points down, you don't need to necessarily build them in the same location that your team has them in. You can build them off on a flank, which will help your team be more aggressive and attack from multiple directions, which goes with our be aggressive tip, right? Very, very important. Now, not only this, new players will also forget that, yes, it's important to build your own rally points, but it's also important to attack enemy rally points. A lot of the times in Enlisted, games will devolve into these wars of attrition that defenders naturally have a big advantage on if the teams are even. So if the teams are evenly skilled and both teams just kind of get in a situation where they have rally points down, they're just throwing bodies at a point over and over again, the defenders are going to have the advantage, right? They're defending the objective. They don't have to actively push across open ground or anything like that. So what the attackers need to do in that situation is actively look and attack the enemy rally points. Try to find them. They make this very loud and distinctive beeping sound like Morse code, And if you can find that, you can break the enemy rally points or start locking down the enemy as they try to spawn on those rally points, then you're going to be able to give your team that massive advantage to be able to take the objective and win that war of attrition. I can't tell you as how many times I've been locked in this objective and, you know, we waste like 400 tickets and then I'm like, wow, what am I doing? And I find the enemy rally points, I take them out in one big, you know, flanking attack, and suddenly we're able to take the point within, you know, a minute or two. It's such a big swing in momentum. So always be on the lookout for enemy rally points. Always make sure that your rally points are up to date and your team is able to spawn on them. My third tip is a pretty straightforward one, guys, and a lot of people do know this, but I still see some players struggling with this. Mark enemy vehicles. It's important to mark any enemies that you see, but it is especially important to mark enemy tanks, because if you mark an enemy tank, the mark will follow that tank along with it as it moves, making it very easy for your team to spot it. It makes it easy for your team to know that that tank is there, so your infantry can avoid it, your tanks can attack it and maneuver around it, and your planes can bomb it from the air. It's just such an important thing to be doing, and it's such an easy thing to do as well because you'll get an assist with it. Anytime you see a tank, just mark it. Even if you don't plan on attacking yourself, just drop a mark on it. It'll stay there for quite some time, and it'll give your team a major advantage in engaging and destroying that tank. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is perks. For some reason, new players seem to just ignore perks, or they don't think they're very powerful. They are, guys, I promise you. I mean, reduced recoil, increased health, increased medkit speed. It's crazy how powerful these perks can be whenever you max them out and you utilize them in a playstyle that works for you. I can't tell you guys how many times I've had that bonus vitality perk save my life, and I've gone on to take out an enemy rally point that ended up winning us the game, or I took out an enemy tank that was shredding my team, or I was able to revive myself because of a med kit and then be able to get up, wipe out an enemy team while a guy was reloading because he didn't expect me to revive faster, so on and so forth. I mean, it's such a massive advantage, and they're free. As long as you play with your soldiers and you level them up, those perks come to you for free. So just find whatever setup of perks matches your play style and equip them to as many soldiers as you can. And remember, different soldier classes have different access to perks. Like tankers, for example, have some really powerful perks for wherever they are in tanks, because that's what they do. So just keep an eye out for those and equip the different perks that sound good, mix and match, and experiment with them. Find out what works for you, and I promise you guys will find your individual soldiers' efficiency will be much better, and you'll win much more often in Enlisted. And finally, guys, gear. Always make sure you are equipping the most up-to-date gear on your soldiers. Don't go into a battle rating 3 if you only have mostly battle rating 1 or 2 guns equipped. It's going to end up having you in a game with a bunch of, battle rating 3, 4, or maybe even 5 players, and you're not going to have the gear to be able to compete with them. At the same time, don't equip just a single battle rating 5 gun. I know it's cool, I know it looks fun, and I know it shreds people, but if you're going in with just a single gun, then you're going to get up-tiered and you're just going to end up being at a major disadvantage. I know whenever you unlock this new cool gun, you're going to want to use it, but hold off just for a little bit, or maybe save some silver as you're leveling up to equip that gun, and make sure you equip as many of your soldiers with that equipment as possible. Because again, you don't want to be put in a situation where you are using just, one squad that's fully upgraded and has all these new cool guns, and then everyone else that you've brought in your other squads are basically just conscripts using Mosins, right? Or using Springfield, or using low-tier guns when you've gone into a high-tier match. It's not a fun experience because you'll be at a disadvantage. And if you're going up against people who have fully updated and upgraded all of their gear, then they are going to be able to absolutely shred you. And this goes for other equipment too. Make sure that you can equip, AP mines for an advantage, anti-tank mines to blow up tanks as they try to push up, as well as other equipment like ammo bags so you can carry more ammo into the game, or flasks so you can have more stamina. All of these things are really important, and as you unlock them, make sure to update and equip your soldiers with the best gear that they can possibly have. What do you guys think about these 5 mistakes? Are there mistakes that you guys feel like you made whenever you first started playing Enlisted, or mistakes that you see other new players making that I didn't put on this list that you really think should be? Leave a comment down below what it is and your advice on how to do better. I'd love to have that discussion going, and we can all learn from each other. It's such an important community building thing. Make sure to join our community Discord down in the description below. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I do appreciate it so much. And without anything else, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.